that's a trap. Ay, money low, drug dealer coming off of you a stack. We all know that's a trap. Word. You ain't put in no work, but she throwing pussy back. We all know that's a trap. Ay, if it fell off, nigga peel off, that's a fact. We all know that's a trap. If a nigga ever tell you me to run the back, we all know that's a trap. Ay, money low, drug dealer coming off of you a stack. We all know that's a trap. Word. You ain't put in no work.
What's going on, people? How you doing? We're at episode 2 of Whose Manz Is This? I got to my left, DSD Major, and myself, JJ, aka Old Soul.
DSD Major.
That's all day long, baby. There are some things in life that we can't ignore at all. And though sometimes we're always a spirited couple on the show and stuff of that nature, usually us hosting comes a lot of joy. But there's some scenarios we have to actually address. And obviously, we're talking about George Floyd and the whole Black Lives Movement. What do you feel about this whole topic?
Yeah, like you said, today we're going to talk about some social injustices. We're going to talk about George Floyd. Don't forget Candace Owens. We're going to talk about Candace Owens and basically how she's an educated fool.
Amen.
Blissful ignorance.
Yeah.
Definitely going to mention the Dave Chappelle special.
Yeah.
8 minutes and 46 seconds?
Amen.
And that was the amount of time that the officer's knee was on George Floyd's neck, causing him to die of asphyxiation.
Yes, it was horrendous death.
With every difficult topic you talk about, you got to find some positive, right?
Yes.
So just let the people know how we're going to end off the episode as well.
So let's start off the episode and end off the episode with the word hope. Definition of hope, which is going to be our word of the day. Definition of hope is the feeling of what is wanted can be had, or the events will turn out for the best. To give hope.
Don't forget the light at the end of the tunnel.
And the light at
the end of the episode. So we're going to start off. It's going to be a heavy topic. It's going to be emotionally felt, but we want to make sure we conclude the episode with, propelling hope and getting people to realize there is light at the end of the tunnel with everything that we're dealing with. So just lead the people off and let's talk about George Floyd. What happened?
So to be honest with you, I hadn't watched the video for a long time until as of recently. I've heard so much about it, I saw the people, stuff of that nature, and I felt like that if I actually saw the video myself, it would drive me to a point of real true anger. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it did. I saw the video and it was inhumane. It was
difficult.
Disgusting,
difficult to watch,
and very difficult to watch to a point, especially that. All you want to do is tell the person to get off them or physically get off them.
You want to help. You want to physically help. You want to run out there and do something.
Being in my background, I'm from the Uniondale-Baldwin area, very diverse schools, and very good parents too at the same time. I had a strong upbringing when it came to my household. And from this country to my household, we had taught ourselves to treat others how you want to be treated. Treat with dignity, with care, and with respect. And I feel like all of that throughout that 8 minutes and 46 seconds of video was out the window.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. It's just, the man was tortured to death. You could suffocate a lot quicker than 8 minutes and 46 seconds. So that just leads me to believe that it was purposefully done. The officers had their knee on his neck and probably took it off for a couple seconds to let that man breathe, put back pressure again. They tortured him to death. And he was begging for his life. Please, I can't breathe. Please, I can't breathe. Obviously, we've heard those same words from Eric Garner. So this is something that's been going on. It's just,
You don't forget the part that he was crying for his mother that had died 2 years prior to that already.
Absolutely. And there were white and black people who were watching this happen and pleading for his life. But obviously they don't want to physically get involved because, the police officers shoot first and ask questions these days, especially if the color of their skin is a little bit darker than everyone else's.
And they are the most lethal, deadly people of this country. And they're the worst gang, honestly, that's actually legalized.
Question, bro. Why did he get stopped in the first place?
For a counterfeit 20.
Okay, so we're talking about counterfeit money. Is counterfeit
not real money. Mm-hmm. Counterfeit.
Is counterfeit money worth your life? Think about it. Put yourself in his shoes. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, is counterfeit money worth your life? We're not saying that what he did was right? But is it worth his life?
How minuscule is that? How much of an excuse is really that? That the reason why his life was snuffed out was because of starting the encounter with a materialistic thing, as in money. Don't get me wrong, money is the root of all evil. We understand that. But it wasn't even real fucking money.
I mean, and that brings me to my next thought, right? So I just want to let you guys know, people look at George Floyd as a hero, and he is. And we didn't choose him. This is just a matter of the situation. We didn't set out and say, George Floyd, you're going to be the hero for the black community. What happened to him made him a hero, right? There's one person in particular that disagrees. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Not just disagrees, but she changed the narrative. And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, blissful ignorance.
Blissful ignorance. So a question to you, just for you per se.
What's that?
Do you see George Floyd as actually a hero or a victim?
I see him as both. He was a hero who was victimized. And this situation made him that hero. I just want to elaborate more on the Candace Owens situation.
Go ahead, yes, please.
So Candace Owens is a black Republican, right? Well-known, educated woman. She put up a post on YouTube basically condemning George Floyd for, I guess, not being a perfect citizen, right? A perfect human being. Are you perfect?
I'm not perfect at all, no.
I'm not perfect. Uba, are you perfect? No. Right. So our director is not perfect, right? So I guess we can all agree that none of us are perfect, but she was condemning a man that lost his life to police brutality by bringing up his record, his criminal record, right? He didn't kill anybody. He didn't rape anybody. He wasn't perfect. That's all that we can accuse him of being. Not perfect.
Absolutely. But we cannot ignore the facts. What Candace Owens was telling were certain facts. This man did have a criminal record, a very troubled criminal record.
So what?
And he has some heinous stuff too at the same time. That is a fact, and we understand that.
And we say, so what?
And we do say so what to it, because at the same time, she always says, yes, this whole incident, him dying, was absolutely a catastrophe. But there's no but. There's no but.
And I take this whole situation a lot more personally because, I'm an African-American man who's dealt with racism in his life. It's alive. So people say, both of us, yeah. But it's more pungent for me because I am black. And this is a Black Lives Matter movement, not to discriminate on anyone else.
No,
but it's a Black Lives Matter movement. It is. And I'm a black man, so I got to speak from the black man's perspective. And Candace Owens is a black woman, African-American woman.
Educated too.
Educated, right? But an educated fool. Let's put the fool at the end of it.
Absolutely.
That's what she deserves.
It's
her timing was wrong. She was wrong, period. You're supposed to be uplifting the community. So what if this man has a troubled past? Everybody comes from somewhere. You can't be perfect. But you chose this time when his family is grieving, when the world is grieving, and actually a lot of black and white people are coming together for something. You choose this time to take away from the movement? How dare you? How dare you? And not to put that energy in the air, but what if something was to happen to Candace Owens? You wouldn't want people to march for you. You wouldn't want people to do the same thing for you just because your past is a little different. So put yourself in this man's shoes and put yourself in his family's shoes. And that's pretty much what I got to say for Candace Owens. You can take it away from me.
What I want to say is him being the more decent human being of the conversation. I'm going to say this. By fact, for me, I don't see how he was a hero, but I do see that he was a victim, plain and simple. At the same time, a woman with power, with a very significant platform, took time and out of her will to go into somebody else's past that is already dead. She dedicated time to point out he was a bad guy. Look at this. Look at all this.
Put a stain on his legacy.
What's the point of it all? That's my question to you, America. Straight up, what's the point of it all? He's already dead. He's got the worst case scenario that's happened to him as a black man in America. And he's dead. What's the point of you bringing it up? What's going to change? What's going to better the world?
First degree. It's not manslaughter. It's not second degree. It's not third degree. It was intentional. It's willful. It's first degree murder that was televised.
And then remorse wasn't even shown in a goddamn video either. From a fuck. So when it comes to Candace Owens, I honestly have no respect for her. And whatever she spews out of her mouth is hope she's ready to take the consequences.
And I absolutely agree. I have no respect for someone who takes the time out to condemn another person for their past, while they've just been brutally murdered on TV. We need to do more about the punishment for police officers when it comes to police brutality as well, because punishment is too light. There's too many stipulations on, putting charges against somebody because they're still actively a police officer.
And one person indeed actually talks about that on a regular basis is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle for years throwing out his shows, especially his younger days to now, has always been
transition us if you want.
As always, that whole transition from there has just always been. Dave has actually brought these scenarios up multiple times.
Speaking of Dave Chappelle, go in time next segment.
Next segment has to do with Dave Chappelle and his video on YouTube they released called 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Dave Chappelle took it to a level that was needed, and though he was iconic for being being comedian relief to the world, he was angry, and I think you liked it. Angry. And I think you liked it to show that his humane side of him, right?
I love it.
Tell me first what you think.
First, let's talk about the setup, right?
Facts.
It was made to show the discomfort of what's going on in the world today. you saw two chairs together. They practiced social distancing in the open field, right?
Yes.
Everybody had their mask on. A lot of people were wearing their black. We got our black on today in support of the movement. And, people were getting checked with the
temperature, yes.
thermometers, whatever it was.
That's right.
Temperature thermostats, my bad. But, when Dave Chappelle came on stage, he looked visibly uncomfortable. It wasn't the jovial Dave Chappelle, the normal Dave Chappelle that you see. He came on stage with a purpose and with a message. I'm so glad that he actually took time with his platform to actually address this issue. And he came on stage and he did not tell one joke for the duration of the show. There was no joke. It's just he has a way of saying stuff that can make you laugh,
Yes.
He can make light of a bad situation while giving you information and educating you.
And that's just being a gift of being a comedian too. It's the tone, it's the delivery, everything of that nature. Which he didn't, even though Dave Chappelle wasn't the regular Dave Chappelle that we all used to, it was he was still delivering a very powerful message in his own way, and we all got to the same point.
And we learned.
We learned. And even him, he had to say a couple of very unkind things to say about Candace Owens too. And again, I'm not justifying anything, but me being a human being, I feel like she deserved it. That's me saying.
Of course, she has to know what she's doing is wrong. You can't do something wrong like this and not hear about it. And I'm glad Dave Chappelle was one of the people that addressed it. And guess what? We need more celebrities and more people of his platform to come out and speak. And what's funny? I saw a post on Twitter from Denzel Washington, right? And he said,
"Good old Denzel."
We might not be posting, but that doesn't mean we're not doing anything. So he said, "Stay low key and support the movement." That's just a summarization of what he said, basically. And I have no problem, certain celebrities staying quiet, supporting behind the scenes. But I also need some of them to come out to the forefront and let the public know that they care. March with the people. It's just, it's hard to speak about it. I'm containing my emotions, but it's definitely a hard topic to speak on. And I'm glad we're taking time to address it. We're gonna have jovial episodes. Mm-hmm. This is the episode that we're gonna talk about a heavier topic and let people know that we care and we're aware. Guys, right now we're gonna just take a gander at some clips of actual police brutality. We want people that are maybe oblivious to the situation. We want you to see what's going on live on hand. So we want you to look at these clips with us, and you're actually going to see our reactions firsthand. So our director actually picked up these videos for us. We're just going to narrate what's going on.
We never seen this before, so we're going to get reactions right here, right now, live. All right?
Can we get it started? Wow.
This is heinous.
Officers involved in the incident have been.
This is to show you. This is a white man here, elderly white man.
And I don't see nothing that bad. I don't know what the hell that was so bad.
Jesus.
Wow.
Why would you? Come on, man. Like,
you're a fuck.
Have been suspended
and elderly man. Look at him.
Now this happened just after.
God that evil with no seeds of respect. In
Hello,
America,
cool,
all she sees is regret.
Okay.
Instead of letting blood live, they begging for bloodlet. Revenge is a dish that's served on platelets. Transfusion of confusion, abusing our intellect. $1,200 check, even though $1,200 can make a meal stretch. Was rich when she earned my respect. She made a little bit of money for a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. Jumping up and down on police cars and vex. After Chauvin killed George Floyd, we got next. Molotov cocktails, anarchy on the set. The rich took the loot, so now we loot shit. Feeling like a caged tiger that's whipped to do tricks.
Yeah.
That's why I started fires and yelled and threw bricks. They tried to run me over and arrest me and shit. Tase pepper spray and engage with the kid. They ran up in the state house with them AKs quick. But let a nigga try and do that white boy shit.
Yep.
Won't be no rubber bullets ricocheting off ribs. But the white supremacists go in the cops' faces and spit. Try to barbecue, Becky call the cops on the kid. Hoping and praying it'd be some Emmett Till shit. Sandra wasn't bland, they hated Mike because he brown. Trayvon should have had an Aston Martin riding around. Amadou Diallo was way too many to follow. Fuck.
And folks, you basically get the idea. LL Cool J, taking time out of his day to make a freestyle that addresses what's going on. And I appreciate him for it.
Absolutely.
Dave Chappelle, LL Cool J, and you felt the words. You heard that line sitting there. Let a nigga try that white boy shit.
Yeah.
White boy shit, right? There won't be no rubber bullets bouncing off ribs. That's real shit.
That's real shit.
That's what we're going on in the world today. But let's just mention a couple people that that are supporting the life. Let's mention Killer Mike.
Let's talk about Killer Mike, right?
Let's talk about Angela Rye, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And
Colin Kaepernick also.
Colin Kaepernick. Come on, you know what I mean?
That gave us a fair warning back in 2016, and it was peaceful about it too.
Peaceful. And was condemned.
And was condemned.
Lost his job.
Mm-hmm.
That means the movement was bigger than his pockets, right?
Absolutely.
Of course, yes, he did get a son, but he sacrificed his paycheck for a movement because he realized it was bigger than himself, right?
And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, there's a guy by the name of Michael Vick. I'm not sure if you heard about him. Michael Vick went to jail for 2 years for dogs fighting and came back into the league and was more open-armed and welcomed back into the league than Kaepernick. Think about it. 2 years. And now Kaepernick's been
All he was trying to do was support Black Lives Matter.
That's all he wanted to do. Spring focus on Black Lives Matter. That's all he wanted to do.
But we do want to leave you with some, like we said, some light at the end of the tunnel. So in conclusion, we just want to say, guys, look, continue to march, continue to stick together, and don't let the few bad apples dilute the message, because you're going to have your bad apples out there, but, you know, stick to the purpose and stay positive and support one another, you know, love one another. And we are all equal, no matter what shade or color your skin is, you know what I mean?
We live in a very cynical world, and it's kind of very confusing. I understand all that, and we need to provide the world again. We need to know what's good and what's bad, and minimize the gray area as much as possible. There is a lot more goodness where there is bad. It's just that the reason why we listen too much to the bad is because it's louder. Choose where to hear, choose where to listen.
Black Lives Matter.
Black lives do matter. Because all lives matter, then Black
Don't
lives
leave me hanging,
do
don't leave
matter. I'll tell you that shit right now. But there is love here, there is hope here, there's power here, and it's all within our hands. What are we gonna do about it? And what are you gonna do about it? Every day we're to come here and try to lighten your spirits, bring a smile to your face, and do the best we can. At the same time, this world needs healing. Can you do your part? We're gonna do ours. I promise you that. But what we're gonna do as a people, there's only one race, the human race. We collect and bond with each other, make a better life for ourselves and our children. At the end of that, I'm close out and just say, I'm JJ, aka Old Soul. To my left is the absolutely
DSD
infamous DSD Major. We thank you for stopping by and we appreciate you. Much love to all my Boricuas and just all my family, Facebook, friends, media, and everything of that nature. God bless you. Bendición y que Dios te bendiga. We'll see you next time. Peace.